Good evening and welcome back to Foundry, where we have a plan. This is the plan. It's a skeleton of a plan. So figuring out the height required and the other bits and pieces and what we need. There is a big tower there because I was trying to find out what the height limit exactly was. You can build up to 255, but obviously we need to put in a landing pad on top. Landing pad's a 19 tall, so we have to come down from that. So 236. 236 is the highest we can build to. However, this does have a minimum height per floor, which is bigger than I originally planned. And that is because the arc furnace. The arc furnace, as we saw last time out, is massive. It's a really big building. It is, see the size there, 18 by 12 by 9. So we would need, 31. So yeah, we would need at least 12 tiles between the floors to put an arc furnace in, which also means we have a limit on the size of the building as well. So if these are, well, they're 18 tiles long, so that's okay. There's plenty of space for that there. So this is it. This is the height. So this is the space between the floors is 13 tiles, and then that becomes the 14 tiles. So 14 per floor. This comes up and goes around. We are going to have to put the HV connectors in because obviously this requires power at each floor. So I have to figure out. I think those two can connect. Yeah. So we'll do that. We'll just run the power in from the top probably, and run it down, and that's how we go. And the minimum size of the building is going to be one of these, and the landing pad. So what I need to do is I need to realise that this isn't going to actually work the way I want it to work. No, this is not going to work the way I want it to work. This actually needs to be one further out. There needs to be a gap in between these two, because the landing pad is an odd number. It's an odd number inside. So to get everything lined up and looking pretty, this is going to have to come over by one. So rather than this be here, we'll add, instead of 8, we'll add 9 in between, and do that. And then that way, the other one of these would be... Actually, it doesn't matter because we're not doing 2, are we? No, this is one line. This is one line. This matters not. Okay, I don't know what I'm talking about. It's fine. So we can do this like that. So you can feed into that one there. You could feed into the side one. We could move it over. That's fine. So that would make a bit more sense, actually. Let's have you feed into the side one. So there. Like that. So it can stay as is. It doesn't need to be an odd number. That's fine. And then you'd feed into this one here, and everything would be awesome and wonderful. And there's much rejoicing, which would be awesome. This is kind of the minimum size of the build. So however long this is here, unless we put these outside, I haven't decided with these yet. But this is the minimum. But we want to do each, rather than doing the floor of those and then a floor of product and then a floor, we're going to do everything on a single floor to make that thing. So the raw ore will come in, we'll get dumped off on the ground, we'll get shipped up to whatever floor it needs to go to. That'll be fine. Everything will get fed in. It'll be beautiful. I think the raw ores that we're going to need, obviously we're going to need, we can also just buy the components. We have the ability to just literally buy the components, but no, I want to try and just buy the raw ore and do it that way. We're going to process everything up. So we're going to need obviously xenoferrite, techomignium, mineral. Hold on. Let's come here. Yeah, we're going to need every one of the ores. We're going to need every one of the ores, aren't we? Yeah, because we make everything. Here. So we're going to need 1, 2, 3, 4. We need Tuluxite as well. The thermalite sheets will be made elsewhere but shipped in. So 5. And oil, they'll be made on top of oil. They'll be Yeah, they'll be made on top of an oil plant, an oil reservoir, so they'll pump their own oil. Potentially you might need an oil one when they run out of oil, so we'll have to figure that out, but I don't know how I'm going to do that. That'll be fine. So yeah, so 4, 5. So we need 5 landing pads. Wow. 5 landing pads. And then we need it going up to each floor. I'm wondering whether it might make sense to have the ground floor. Someone else I haven't checked. We actually, hold on. They're 12 tall as well, the installation columns. Okay, so they can fit inside the buildings you want to plan for as well. What I'm looking at is that, do we want to ship the stuff into the ground floor and process it on the ground floor into the metals? So we'll do the crushers, the smelt, all that. There'll be a smelting room on the ground floor, which will produce the xenoferrite plates and the Tekken rods, which can go up to wherever they want to go to for each floor. Kind of like what we've got ready. We've got a bus going on there, but it can also produce steel, and it can also produce liquid tellexite, and it will do the oil processing all on the ground floor, like the ground floor of the building. And then we go up, and then we start processing like the torsos, and then go up another floor and process the heads, then up another floor process the arm, so on and so forth. It would just be like a smelting room on the ground, because if I put the smelters on each floor, although that is technically doable, so robot part, let's create a robot part here. Boom. No, there's robot. Boom. There. Cancel. So we're going to say we are using the fastest conveyor belt. Well, we're using those conveyor belts right now. We're doing metallurgy. That's fine. We're not using the blast furnaces, and we want to produce any robot torso, So let's go with the farm robot torso. Boom. Okay, and we want to be making 32 of them. We don't need a lot of ore, which is fine, but we obviously will need to smelt it down. So. And this would be required on each floor if we just brought the raw resources in. So we'd have to have a crusher on a floor, 1 smelter, 7 smelters for the Tekken, 5 smelters for the xenoferrite, that sort of thing. But that would be needed each floor. Whereas if I was to say on the robot head, and then leg, and then arm, 32 of those, and 64 of those, and 64 of those, like that. And then we just on the ground floor did the processing for all the things. We would need, let's make an advanced xenoferrite blend. We would need 6 smelters, advanced smelters on the floor doing steel beams. 20. Wow, actually that's a lot of smelters. The ground floor would be massive. These buildings are going to be a lot bigger than I expected them to be anyway. There's just no kind of way around it. But then all of this up to the smelters, we don't do any assemblers, just the smelters producing the xenoferrite, the Tekken, the steel, and the oils, so we low density and liquid polymer, because I'm pretty sure gas becomes the low density. It's not used. It might be used. I can't remember. Mica acid, and the liquid tellexite as well, because wherever that's needed for fuel. So 1 arc furnace, and then that will go up to the floors, and then these casting machines and all these will be on the higher floors. So only the crushers and furnaces are on the lower floors. That's it. Crusher furnaces on the very lowest floor. Crusher furnaces and arc furnace. That's a furnace. On the lowest floor. Everything else is high up. So yeah, and we just ship the ore in. The ore just comes, you know, so we can ship that. The oil is going to be imported directly there. That, and that, like so. Water, we can magic up water. That's fine. That's not a problem. So yeah, you need 4 pumps pumping oil. Yeah, and then we just put so yeah, crushers, smelters, furnaces on the ground floor. Produce the products. That comes up to whatever floor it needs. So it will work its way up, like maybe the end of the building. We'll have it go up the building. Would mean I need to figure out how big I need to make it. I think like all the robots are roughly the sort of same. No, they're not. No. Some need more steel than others. Some need more bits and pieces. So all the buildings will be bespoke. We'd have to build it very bespokely, which is fine. But then that would come up, and then obviously the first floor that it would come to would be to make the torsos. So that would do everything needed from the assembler side to make the torsos. So if we go to the top here, torsos. So we'd have to make the barrels, have to make the energy cells, have to make the robot parts from all the bits and pieces to make the torsos. And then the next one would be the heads, and then we do 2 floors of legs and 2 floors of arms. And then the top floor would be the paint, because this doesn't include paint, which is very annoying. It doesn't include paint, but you must paint robots before you can ship them out. So yeah, I have to figure out that. I think it says it needs 3,200 litres per minute. So let's add paint at 3,200. Paint is ridiculous. It really is madness, the amount of paint you need. So yeah, and then that would come up, and then on the very top floor we would have to make the paint, I suppose, actually, and then connect this up to this on a higher floor maybe. So that's the plan anyway. We have space for it, but because of the height here, that means that we cannot go above so all this added together would be, we need 6 floors at 14 high. So 6 times 14 makes us 84. 255, oh no, sorry, 236 take 84. Means we can go a maximum of 152 on our building. So we'd have to look for oil reserves, which are, see, that says it's 157, so that's technically too high. We couldn't build a building on top of that. We could kind of build the building like here, like this, around it, and have that just be slightly higher, and it ships the oil in. So that wouldn't be a bad thing. So then the oil sort of processing would be here on the end, and it would ship in, provided it doesn't break the height. And the oil reserves are not, oil pumps are not all that large. Where are we here? They are only 6 tall. So, you know, they can be the oil pump where we pump the oil out of could be inside the building, like, and it would pump out and come down. That wouldn't be bad. Power wise, I was thinking when we get to the roof, we'll put solar panel on the roof, which does mean we kind of need to build the infrastructure for the building first. Put the power in, run power down to get the oil going and things. So when we put solar panels on the roof, yes, I know it's permanent day. Yes, it's cheating. Meh. So we could do that. We could also ship in stuff to make to run steam generators or do whatever. You know, that's not exactly complicated to do. We could make our fuel cells and put just burner generators in there if we really wanted to. So that's the plan. However, that's the idea. However, it's 15 minutes into this episode and I haven't done a damn thing. Nothing is going to happen this episode. I'm very sorry. What we need to do though is we need to find more oil nodes. We've got a few dotted around, but I want to make sure that they are big enough for what we want to do. But I don't have much of the area scanned out. So I would like to build our first large building, which is the long range scanner. That will scan the area around us and we'll find all the ores and the reservoirs and all the bits and pieces. But to build that, we need to have construction ships and transport ships. So I'm going to grab all the bits and pieces, and we're going to put them down somewhere near the power at this end here, because they need high voltage power, so I'm just going to run them down here somewhere. And let me create that, build that, and then we'll put in the scanner, and we can then scan the area. That's all flat there, ready for more power. So we will be right back. And we now have a construction ship and some delivery ships. Now these are used for making the large structures. So what you do is you put the foundations down. In fact, you know what? I made some. Let's build it. Let's build it. So you put the foundations down, and then they will come, and these ones will go over to the construction materials down there, deliver them, and then the construction ship will build it. It's the only way you can build the large ones here. So I've made a little area here for this, and let me make sure. So this building is quite simple. You can tell where the future is, where the front is on it, because you can see the panel. Other ones don't do that so much. They can be a little bit awkward. So there it is there. And what you do is we have to make another thing that I haven't made yet. Where is it? We have to make the modular building planner. So let's build that. Boom, there we go. And you right click this, you have the modular building planner, it highlights green, you click it, there it is. There's the building. Now the reason it's important to know where the front is because some things can be connected to certain sides. So you need to know where the front is, where the back is, and so you know where you're plugging things in. If you move around with it, you'll always see your person. That's the where you're looking. So you've got an arrow. So I'm looking directly at the front. If I go over here, like this, and do that, you will see, hey, he's over here now. He's looking from that side. So we know where we're going to. So I'm going to go over to this side, like this. That would put us over there, and we're much further away as well. But what we want to do, we want to build the tower. So it has minimum and maximum parts. The tower's kind of solid set. Lots of these modular buildings are sort of set. You have to build them, like I said, minimum 3, maximum 3, minimum 1, maximum 1 power connector, and minimum of 1 top and maximum 1 top. So it's a modular building, but you have to build it to the way they want you to build it. So it's not really modular, but hey ho. And the reason I'm standing here is because I want the power connectors to be on this side, like that. So there we go, there's that. And if we start constructing, it wants 5,100 construction materials. We'll start building that. And you see it has scaffolding all around it. And our ships have took off into the sun. Not set or rise into the sun, and then they're going to all turn and fly that way. They will go and pick up the construction materials from our warehouse over here, and then once they picked it up, they will come and drop it off at the tower. And then once they've dropped off the tower, you will take off and start building the tower, and everything will be awesome. And then we can plug the tower into the main power grid, and we can then use the tower to contact the station to do things with it. It works the same as the little connections, the little ones. So yeah, but if you want to build the orbital uplink, let's build one of those. This is a handheld terminal. It can also be used for the laser, which is fun. But you can only use it if you have a tower that is connected and powered. So yeah, it's the only sort of way to go. So we don't have one yet. So once it gets built, we'll carry on with that. The other one that I want to do as well, because I have it already built, is the scanner. Now the scanner, as you can see, doesn't tell me what way's front or back on it. It doesn't have a panel at all. So I'm just going to put it down like this, put on there. And I'm going to bring out the modular planning tool. Click on this here, and you see, oh look, that's where I'm stood. Okay, so if I put in this scan module, no, it's back to front. Here is the panel. There's the front of it. So you're never going to know that until you go in to do it. So then you've got to pick it up. Oop. And then rotate it and put it down again, like so. But there's just no indication as to where's the front of the building for it. So kind of awkward. The only indication you kind of have is this is slightly offset one side. So if I now put the scan module in, you'll see, there we go, the panel's in front of us. That's what I want. This can scan areas. So we want to put in the power cable on that end, because that's where the power is there. And we want to put in a speed module and a distance module. You can modify buildings once you've... So we could build that, and then it would start scanning the whole area around us and would just scan slowly. The more you add, the faster it scans. Simple as that. But the more power it uses. So I could leave it like this, and it would scan very, very slowly and just scan the entire world around it slowly. Not the entire world, it has a range. Yeah. We can also increase the range ones by adding the distance modules like this. So we can do this. So it can scan a ridiculously far range, like really, really far, up to 100 chunks. But it can do 2 chunks per second. And if you add speed modules to it, obviously it increases to 1 seconds per chunk, and then 0.7 seconds, so on, to 0.4 of a second per chunk. Usage 5.5 megawatts of power. Honestly, normally I would just build the whole thing and not worry about it, but I'm going to do that, because by the time we go and build one of our assembly line buildings, it's gonna take time anyway. So maybe actually I might do this. So it does 1 second per chunk. There's 100 chunk range. That's 100 chunks squared, by the way. So it's going to take 10,000 seconds, 100 times 100. So we will scan. So yeah, 10,000 seconds divided by 60. It's 166 hours. So 7 days. 7 days it will take to scan everything in range. That's fine. That's fine. We'll probably speed it up later, but it's fine. It's fine. It's got plenty of space to do things. So let's start construction. That needs 11,100 construction materials. There you go. And our guys who are, so they're going off to pick up more materials to do things. They do them in order, so they build this one first, then this one second, which is fine. The power for this one is here, but I need to run it between buildings because power poles clip into things. So that'll clip to that one there, or connect to that one there, I should say. You're going to run directly off the main system here. Maybe you can connect to that one. That's probably too far, but we'll see how this goes. And if we need more power, we'll just add more power to the end here. So fantastic. Okay. Let me build these two. 34%. Let's wait for them to build and see what wonders we can get once we're done. We have the scanner, but as you see, the orbital scanner, no connection, because we need a radio tower. So yeah, with the orbital scanner, you hold right click and you can station management, galaxy view, or orbital laser, which we do actually have. It's right there. Our buildings are complete. We have the tower and I have put it into the network. Let's enable it.
Connection established. We can now access the station management screen from anywhere through our station uplink tool.
What? We can use the station uplink tool to do the things. Yay, anywhere in the world we can do it now. We are struggling for power. So I'm going to actually shut that down again, which means this doesn't work anymore, but that's okay. So we want to plug this one in as well. Oh, there we go. And this, click, will start scanning chunks. Now, any chunk we've already scanned, it will skip over, which is what it's doing the weird, and then it will, then it will start scanning stuff, and we will see more happen. Let's see. Okay, it's scanning chunks now. Where is it scanning? Let's see if we can find it. There. Boop, boop. See it come along? Boop, boop, boop. So I think it's going up and down. So it scans down, boom, then scans down, boom, 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 or it might be going across. I don't know, but it's scanning. It's scanning in this range here. See that? Boom. And it will scan out all the way, and it will find all of the ore patches, all of the ore veins, all of the reservoirs, geothermal vents. It will find everything for us, which is beautiful. So we can pick and choose what reservoirs we want to go to build our new factories. Awesome. Awesome. So we shall leave this one here, and we shall come back next time. I think I will extend the power so we can get some power going. And then we shall go and build our first one. Thank thank you very much for watching, everybody. I hope you have enjoyed this one, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Until then, as always, have fun.